So, I downloaded this. It's not really a game. It's called Marvel Collect, and it's to collect the trading cards that Marvel has, like the Topps trading cards, if you know what I mean. Like the same people who do like baseball cards. Like this isn't a competitive game. You're not battling other people.
You're getting them to have them.
Yes, and this is a digital version, so I'm just looking at a picture of one, essentially.
Yeah, you're collecting JPEGs.
Yes. But I can do this without spending money. There is like a version of this game where you pay money, but I'm not doing that. So generally the way they get people is they come out with various different like themes to base cards around. And one of the themes is like you collect the, cyan, magenta, yellow versions of the covers and then fuse them all together to make a full color version of it and stuff like that. One of the ones they do is for retro comics. And they're just kind of retro comic covers. And one of the ways they try to make that look jazzy, to give it a little oomph, is they put a fake collector's border around the card as though this were a graded comic book. Like it'll have the Beckett, graded thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was taking a look at the one I got, and I sent a picture to Dan, and as I was doing it, I was like, why is my card only graded at 8.0? Like, this is a fake thing. Why do I have a lower score? And then I looked at the more premium version of the card, and that has a 9.8 score.
Oh,
Not even a 10. When you told this to me, I thought it was the most psychotic thing I've ever heard. I also still have more questions. Because at first I thought, she's playing some sort of Marvel phone game. And you can get these as a reward or something. But you've described it not being a game. How are you unlocking cards?
You get an in-game currency just from showing up in the app essentially, and you use that to buy packs. And it'll be like opening a regular pack of cards. They'll be there's a 1 in 5 shot you get a card you actually care about in this. And you just collect them that way. And you can do a lot with the, free currency, but they always make special versions of all the cards that you can really only get if you're willing to put money into the game.
So it's a digital library with no gameplay that is trying to get you to buy pictures of JPEGs that you could get from Google and keep in a folder on your own PC.
Well, Dan... Well, Dan, I think you're missing a fundamental concept, which is some of the cards, when you tilt them on your phone, will do things. Like they'll, shift holographics and whatnot.
So will a foil card in real life.
I was going to say, what also does that if you like that in Marvel? Marvel Snap, which is an actual game you can play that has gameplay mechanics for the cards.
I've played Marvel Snap. I am well trodden in all these grounds. I just happened to be in a mood where I wanted to collect something X-Men related, and I was like, maybe the cards are an option. And then I was like, I don't really want to get into physical cards again. I don't want to do that. So why don't I try the digital version of the app? And if I'm not paying anything to it, then it satisfies that weird little craving in my mind that wants to collect something. I'm going to drop this soon. I'm not in this for the long haul.
I'm not one to judge. This is no weirder than when I played Magikarp Jump for the better part of a year and a half. Sometimes you just gotta.
Well, Pokemon games are also a different breed, too. I mean, I don't think I'm not playing Pokemon Sleep until I'm dead,
I'm actually playing a new collectible card game called Larios cards, where I just click pictures of Quinn Larios, and I have a folder where I look at them, and I have rare ones, I have different graded ones. There's a 9.8 super holofoil Quinn where you're sleeping. It's taken from outside your bedroom window.
I use them to play Quinn Mander.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many of these Quinn cards were taken with my permission?
None.
Oh, okay.
I just Google image search Quinn Larios to try to work on this bit. The first Google result is a picture of my girlfriend. How did Joe mog you on SEO?
Fair enough.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that was also midway through doing that search to start making a fake trading card.
We're all so committed to the bit, we're immediately we have to start making Quinn trading cards to dunk on you.
Why are all the Dan Leonards online looking like real lamos?
Oh, damn.
I like how 6 of them in is a guy I had to block because he kept posting One Piece spoilers on TikTok.
Get his ass. Let's see, when you look up Austin Yorsky, there I am. Yeah, that's all. Oh, Hideo Kojima. Okay. So, anyway. What are we doing here tonight?
I believe we're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons. We're starting a new season of our anthology podcast, Dice Funk.
Well, that's so concise. Have you ever introduced this show before?
Never.
Oh.
And I will never again. Actually, this is a one-time thing. You got it once, so enjoy it.
But hey, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Do I need to know how to play that to listen to this?
I mean, it could enhance your listening enjoyment, but basically, we're playing a tabletop, game where we're gonna roll some dice. Most of the things are on a scale from 1 to 20. 20 is better. If you roll a 20, that's a crit. If you roll a 1, that's a botch. That's the worst you can do. We're going to be playing 5th edition, but we have a lot of stuff going on this season that's pretty unique. So I won't blame anyone who is a little confused. We're taking some wild swings this time.
Yeah, this is the first season in which we'll be playing level 20 characters to some degree. This is the first season where all of our characters have been related. This is going to be an interesting one. There's no progression through levels at this point.
On top of that, not only is this the first level 20 season, there is a D&D Next character, a old school 4th edition character, and a homebrew character in this party.
Wait, a fourth edition, you say?
Oh, well, 4th edition was on the brain because I had to make a bunch of macros for this character, but 5th edition, sure.
So the way we normally start these is by introducing ourselves, the humans who are making the mouth noises. I'm Austin Yorsky. You can find me at patreon.com/Austin Yorsky for all your Austin Yorsky needs. I mostly do podcasts these days. Dice Funk, the show you're listening to. Spew Punk, my bonus show, which you can access for only $1 by supporting the whole show. That's the deal. This will continue as long as I can afford to do it, and I appreciate everyone's help. There are other things you can see on there, but I'm easy to find on all socials because I'm just Austin Yorsky. I am the Dungeon Master this season. I am the NPCs, non-player characters, and I'm going to be the rules nerd. But I'm joined by 3 delightful people who are now going to introduce themselves. And I think we have to establish a kind of order because this is going to be a theme. You 3 are playing siblings who have the same age orders as your characters. This is just for me to remember. I suggested this because it's easier. Are we going to start youngest and go to oldest, or vice versa?
Don't build up to me. That makes me feel ancient. Wait, how old am I in comparison to everyone else?
I'm 33.
Fuck! God damn it.
Laura, high five, 33.
Fuck yeah.
28.
All right, go first, little guy. He's a little guy. He's my cute little dad.
But Quinn's so nervous. She doesn't want to be built up to.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
then
Quinn doesn't get what she wants. You got to go. I'm ordering you.
Take responsibilities, the eldest.
Fuck. All right, fine. Hey, everybody. My name is Quinn Lairs, she, they. You can also find me online as RoloT a lot of places on Blue Sky. You can also follow me on Letterboxd. And I do a lot of podcasts. I do a manga podcast is my main one. We've been doing it for coming up on 14 years now. It's called Weekly Manga Recap. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, basically any place that you could search into. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Weekly Manga Recap. It's really good stuff there. So I'm going to be playing this season dazzling DiCaprio Devereaux. Dazzling's not part of the name. I just wanted to add a little flourish. DiCaprio Devereaux. And she is a diamond dragon. And specifically, because we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, my class is wizard. I guess even more specifically than that, an illusionist wizard. So my character is going to be doing a lot of, I don't know, I'm going to fuck with people's brains, hopefully. Like, I won't be satisfied if I don't end a season at least melting one person's brain. Maybe per episode, because this is a lot of power.
Whoa, setting expectations early.
Yeah. But she is in her human form, a fashion model, sort of a very famous one. She lives in this sort of high fashion world. She herself is very focused on it, and she has gained a good amount of power in her position. She has a decent amount of authority in the dragon world, and it's taken a good amount for her to get there, but she is also narcissistic. She is rather vain. She is kind of a cunt, and she thinks she's probably going to know better than her siblings. She's gonna go out of her way to protect her siblings, whether they want her to or not. She is very protective about her family. And my character's flaw, because you always want to kind of have one for your character, is that she just has a lot of enemies. The scale and severity of which we don't exactly know. I assume there are some people who she's probably ruined their entire livelihood and careers, and there's some people who she was just kind of a bitch to at the coffee shop. Like, she's just got enemies on different scales, but she's she does care about her family. She's a neutral good character. So I think she is trying to do good. She just may not always succeed at it.
Is this yeah, this is me. I'm the middle child, nothing special here, just being in the middle, how it is. Hi, I'm Laura. I go by Laura K Buzz on the internet in various places. I do podcasts and videos about video games. Podquisition is one of them that I've been doing for, almost 10 years now. Fuck. I do a lot of stuff to do with accessibility in video games over on YouTube. You can see me in the credits of some video games that I have helped to make more accessible or be better about representation. A couple of those that have happened recently, I helped make Life is Strange Double Exposure more accessible, and by the time that you hear this, I can talk about the fact that I helped out with Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age the Veilguard. You can see me in the credits for that. I just try and make games good by telling people to make them better, and that's what I do.
You've been sitting on that for like years, right? I remember you mentioning this for a long time ago.
Dragon Age I've been sat on for 4 years. 4 years I've been waiting to be like, oh yeah, I'm LGBTing up your Dragon Age. You can't stop me. I'm the reason your game is woke. Blame me. So yeah, I'm playing Hop, Doc Hop. The Hop is the given name. Doc is a title. I am playing a Warlock, and Hop is, how do I put this? I'm gonna say an anthropologist of sorts, a studier of cultures and artifacts through the lens of, perhaps discarded cultural artifacts, we'll put it that way. She is a little self-conscious about her collecting interests. We'll get to them later. But she is, I think, the middle sibling that is trying to prove that what she does with her time is valuable and worthwhile as well. I think her big thing is, I want to be taken seriously while being a little bit of a trash gremlin. I take my trash very seriously. It's very important. There's meaning and importance to it, and that's who I'm playing. I'm being the middle sibling this time. So look out for me, desperate for everyone's approval despite being trash.
So when you say you're a warlock, what you mean is that your young adult steel dragon form uses abilities that are taken from the warlock class, but you're not actually in a pact with a being.
Yeah. I don't have a warlock patron. I just got all the abilities that you would associate with a warlock. I got all that kind of magic, but it just comes from me. I'm just that good. I'm just that cool of a being while also living in filth.
All right, so DiCaprio the Diamond Dragon, Doc Hop the Steel Dragon, and finally...
hello, everyone. I'm Dan. You're going to hear Quinn... Oh, god damn it. Laura really just kicked me in the nuts in the middle of this intro. She's posted a Quinn Dice Funk trading card. Anyway, hi, I'm Dan. You're going to hear Quinn call me Little Dan about 30 billion times throughout the course of this season. I'm not like a content creator online. This is the only thing I do that you're going to find me on. I'm in IT Monkey, who recently threatened to quit his job. So there's that. Nothing more to say there. You can't find me. Today I am going to be playing Rex Maximus the Red Dragon. Important note here, Austin, what does my class say on my character sheet?
This was a whole thing. You had a couple of different phases, let's say, of finding like a homebrew material. And as we alluded to before, I think DiCaprio is a 2024 wizard. Doc Hop is a 2016 warlock. You are a homebrew class simply titled Dragon.
Yes. So, personal to me, I have a hard time refluffing things past a certain degree. If it was Laura playing a warlock was one of my original ideas as the closest way you could like emulate a dragon, right? Which was my entire focus on this. And I was pulling my hair out going, how the fuck do I emulate a breath weapon? Over and over and over until I found a little piece of content called Dragon Ancestries by Battlezoo, a relatively popular third-party D&D content developer. In effect, it kind of just works mechanically like Warlock. You level up, you get gifts or Eldritch invocations, and then evolutions, which are kind of like, your pack boons and what have you. Rex is a physical monster compared to his more magically inclined siblings. He is the youngest of the three, an impulsive, incredibly egotistical asshole who I am required to say does fuck.
Legally, I'm being informed that it's actually a serious issue if you don't.
Yes, in a previous season, I played Throg, and I tried to play a quintessential gold dragon. So obviously, I couldn't really retread ground like that. So in this case, I'm playing a red dragon. He is chaotic neutral, and his whole conceit is that he believes with his whole heart that dragons are innately the greatest beings to ever live. With red dragons amongst them being amongst the best. Because they are the most violent and powerful.
Could not be more opposed to Hop if he tried.
Yes. But he can appreciate things about smallfolk. What we refer to, humans, elves, etc. Specifically, the fact that they're great. They occasionally produce great and powerful heroes, royals, presidents, etc. And they tend to all wear indicators of said stature, and his entire thing is that he has spent most of his young adult dragon life robbing the shit out of other kingdoms and stealing their crowns and thrones.
All right, so the impetuous young hothead Rex Maximus, the Red Dragon. If you listen to the Session 0, Episode 0, Part 0 of this season, you'll already know the setting is the Cookie Mountains, a huge mountain range, literally 2,000 peaks or so, dotting the landscape with different sub-biomes. There's deep valleys, there's snow-capped peaks, there's volcanoes, all kinds of different things to explore. That's where we are this season. You'll also know that the three of you share a father, but have different mothers. So we touched on that, and we'll obviously get into that a lot more. That's going to be kind of the important dynamics of the season. But we are about to jump right into the action so you can all show off your level 20 characters. Before we do that, does anybody have anything they want to say or establish before I start hurling spells at you?
Yeah, let me try to think of like an outfit to start off the adventure with.
Sure, that's important because all three of you hoard different items. You're all dragons, so you have a psychological compulsion to hoard a specific kind of item. And I've actually started you all off with one signature item, which you can describe when it makes sense to. Yours is outfit related. So I think basically at the start of every arc, we have to do a fit check.
Oh, I mean, first and foremost, she is not going through an entire arc with just one outfit. She wouldn't be caught dead. She is changing costumes between scenes, to be very clear.
Okay, I was going to say at the beginning of each episode, maybe we check in, but each scene, woof.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't need to say you need to check in every scene. I'm just saying, just know if you're envisioning her in an outfit right now, if we cut to something else, new outfit. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, you have the power to say that.
I think this is like flowing robe. I think this is like high slit, big boot. Like this is like an elegant sort of mood because we're starting this off on like a high note. This is a very classy woman.
I do have a note I guess I can just throw in there because it happened about a week ago. Dan got engaged for the Dice Folk audience, so I'm more powerful than I've ever been right now.
Whoa.
So be ready for that. I'm bringing a different energy this time. If we're talking about outfits, Rex's entire thing is that he needs people to know that he is obviously the most powerful and greatest king or a figure to ever live. So he is just wearing crowns on his like biceps. His fingers are covered in the rings of royalty. He's got like a necklace of fangs that he's taken off of an orc chieftain. He wears a huge crown just as a belt that he took off of someone obviously bigger than him, at least for his human form. The same thing goes across to his dragon form. He's just got them ringed around his horns and shit like that. Incredibly ostentatious, very heavy.
Hop is wearing the kind of nice vintage outfit that, like, you know, you hold on to it for as long as you possibly can before throwing it out. Like, it's really worn through the shoulders, worn out at the elbows, worn out everywhere. She's tried to do a patch job on it, but like you can tell, this did need to be thrown out by someone. But it was a nice jacket at some point. Like that's the level of outfit that Hop's doing today.
All right, so in addition to the level 20 dragon forms, the big badass characters that you are normally, there's the humanoid forms, which you just alluded to. Dan, you referred to Rex Maximus as his human form, which is accurate. His is a human. But the other two of you are not human. You're humanoid. What exactly do you look like in your outfits?
Hop is a dragonborn, which Hop is very much a fan of the small folk and the small folk cultures, and I think if Hop was anything other than a dragonborn, she would very quickly give away she was a dragon. I think the fact that she is a dragonborn is the only thing vaguely not giving away that she could erupt into huge wings at any minute.
Yeah, and DiCaprio is, I guess, small folk form, humanoid form. I don't know what's the best language to use for it, but hers is this sun elf. She has, like, you know, the copper sort of like Eladrin eyes. She has this very, you know, sort of long, luxurious blonde hair. It's like insufferably, like, perfect in a way that's like sort of frustrating for other people, but it's like very clear that she is intentional with like looking like this all the time. And the fact that this is a magic form is partially why, like, she could just instantly change her hair if she needs it to be something different. Like, she's willing to shift her looks around completely to just make herself look great at all times.
Oh, I guess an important note about Rex's humanoid form, something I wanted to establish, is going with the idea that he innately believes that, you know, being a dragon is great. I think he is actively bad about disguising himself as a human, his form, and I think he picked it over anything else because he still felt the need to be tall. He has to like wear sunglasses to hide the fact that he can't figure out how to transform his eyes to look like human eyes, so they're still like reptilian and slitted. His teeth are a little bit pointed like dragon fangs still. He's got claws, like his fingers are probably more closer to claws than they are to regular nails. He's not doing a great job actively selling the idea that he is a human.
I think the difference there with Hop is Hop knows that she's like, I will slip up in a sentence and mention my snout. And like I need to have cover ready for when I fuck up.
Yeah, Rex isn't thinking that far ahead.
All right, so you are all level 20, big dragons normally. You're all young adult. I should say that one of the important aspects of dragon culture is the gerontocracy. The older you are, the more respected and powerful you are. So you're all like firmly young adults. We can discuss if that's like, you know, hundreds of years. It depends on which edition of D&D, if you're trying to find like the canonical answer. But you're all kind of like young and brash, like the human equivalent of somewhere between your like 20s and 30s. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess paint me this picture, because all three of you are currently in your outfits as described in your humanoid forms. So like we open on the three of you hanging out in like the antechamber of an opulent palace. I think you're all waiting for a meeting with a storm giant king.
Hop is going to walk over to DiCaprio and go, look, we wouldn't want anything unforeseen happening to your lovely outfit today, and just taps her on the shoulder and casts Foresight before going into the room. Foresight is a wonderful 9th level spell that allows a willing creature to have limited ability to see the immediate future.
Oh, holy shit!
So for the next 8 hours, you can't be surprised. You have advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws, and other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
Wow, that's awesome. Weirdly, I think DiCaprio is going to kind of look to you and like look at the magic and be like, "Are you sure you're willing to spend that much, darling? It's rather early in the day."
I don't know. I've got a feeling, not a foresighty feeling. I didn't cast it on me, but I don't know. The outfit's just looking really good today, and I wouldn't want to see it ruined. And go for it.
Well, I do look great today, so thank you for that.
Also, it's 8 hours. Like, is it really going to take us more than 8 hours to get in and out? Bish bash bosh.
Oh, God, I hope not. As Rex rips the sleeves off of the nice outfit DiCaprio probably prepared for him. He goes, can we speed this up? I hate wearing pants. I want to turn back into a dragon.
Rex, for the love of God, I can't keep repairing your sleeves. There's not enough thread in the kingdom.
Rex kind of sniffs and goes, not my fault they can't contain my biceps.
I really should have cast Foresight like 2 minutes earlier. We could have saved the sleeves.
I have put so much extra room in your sleeves at the request of you, and you still find a way to rip them off.
And yet, the room is never enough.
So you're in this opulent antechamber. Storm giants are 30 feet tall. So you imagine the ceilings here are even taller than that, beyond most mortal craftsmen. The three of you are not particularly impressed here. You're bantering. And I didn't expect the foresight. This is the fun thing about playing with level 20 characters and 9th level magic, is you're going to start saying some stuff, and I'm going to have to think of my feet because space is warped and time is bendable at this level. So the three of you sitting there waiting for a meeting with the king, and DiCaprio, you get a vision of the future here, which is storm giant guards, 2 heavily armed guards who are holding swords wreathed in lightning, and they're telling you that your audience with the king has been denied, and they are trying to throw you out. Is what with the power to see the future, you see that this is not going to go your way.
Yeah, I'm going to look to Hop real quick and say, "Thank you, darling. Rex, would you mind, dear, and head to the door?"
Meh, fine.
I think you'll be quite happy with what you see on the other side.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he's walking up to the very big doors. I guess at his size, he might just have to look under it to see what is going through if they're not open.
Yeah, I mean, the giant doors that kind of guard the king's chamber would be monumental to your human form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he'll, I guess, look through the cracks in the door with his currently small human body to see what's coming through.
Sure. So right now you're using your level 1 sheet. A thing I think that we've said in the setup episode was the level 20 sheet basically won't change at all except for hit points and spell slots. Like, that's your fighting sheet. Everything else will be the level 1 sheet. That's the one where you're going to add all your new items to it because you're not going to level up. You're only going to get new items. So using your level 1 sheet, why don't you roll your perception as the first roll of Season 12.
Oh, how fun. One of my worst abilities.
That's how it is.
Oh, what the fuck? Why did my sheet delete all of my stats?
a great omen.
It's been that kind of a day. Half of my stats were just wrong before we started.
That's odd. It's correct in the what is it in the sheet I uploaded. So let me just go to that one. Okay, that is a straight 1d20 plus 1. I got a 4.
All right, so Rex Maximus, muscular human, barely containing your draconic fury, festooned in crowns and rings. You try to peer through a crack in the door, which to you is actually a pretty wide passage. It's like the things you have to squeeze through in PlayStation games for loading. And you look in and you see some advisors, some 30-foot tall purple storm giants, and they're like, "My liege, I don't trust these outsiders. They're here for your crown." And you got a 4. You fail big time. And so you don't react fast enough when someone guarding the door turns to open it and it hits you. So as a human, you have much fewer hit points. You're going to take 4 damage as the giant 80-foot stone door slams into your body and throws you back.
Oh no!
Hop, DiCaprio, you get a future vision of this as it's about to happen, and you just can't say anything fast enough. But I like the slapstick imagery of like,
oh, so you're gonna get hit by this door. Like as you're getting hit by it, you just hear "Doc."
Yeah, so I guess Rex gets hit by this door. He goes, "Ah, what the fuck?" It just kind of turns to DiCaprio, irritated for a moment, and I'm assuming that's when the guards rush in.
Yeah, 2 guards, heavily armored. They're wearing full mail, but they're also crackling lightning from fingertips across their body. They have, on their backs spears of some sort. They don't seem like they're messing around. But as they enter the room, they regard you with very little respect. You're so small. But you see up on the ceiling, there's just like this beautiful mural of like a dragon and a storm giant locked in mortal combat. It's like, it's a great powerful work of art, but kind of tells you the vibe between giants and dragons as they come in and they start saying what DiCaprio you saw in your future vision, which is your audience has been denied, you need to leave.
Is the storm giant in the room, or is it just them?
2 storm giant guards have entered the chamber.
Yeah, it's the guards, but not the storm giant we were intending to have the meeting with.
Correct. The king is still on his throne in the other room.
Cool.
So I assume we've been told to have this meeting no matter what, right?
So the meeting can be however you decide. My intuition here was that this is a king. Rex Maximus collects the status symbols of kings. Also, you're all dragons. You're hungry. You literally need to eat. So, I mean, you can tell me what you get out of anything. I'm just assuming you're here to beat this guy's ass and maybe get a snack.
You know what? Yeah, sure. I think Rex looks at the 2 guards and goes, "Your advisors were right," and then just turns into a dragon and attacks.
Roll initiative, level 20 sheet. Show me what you can do.
Oh, cool. My level 20 sheet, it's still +0. 15.
Yeah, Rex is last because he transforms into a dragon and then just kind of flexes, showing off the majesty of his true form.
14.
All right, DiCaprio, you win initiative. I guess you knew this was coming. You can see the future.
Sure.
So, there are 2 storm giant guards, and in the other room, there are advisors, there's a king, and then there's the whole rest of the storm giant civilization, obviously.
Yeah. So there's just 2 guards, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think DiCaprio is kind of laughing to herself a little bit. She's not happy to see her brother get smacked in the face. She just wanted him to be there for this, as soon as it happened, because she knew he wanted to be in the fray. But it's like a happy accident that happened, in the way that siblings just sometimes enjoy seeing each other kind of fail and flounder. So I think she has, a small laugh about that. But then, she is annoyed, because she's probably going to see, broken glasses on the ground afterwards and all this sort of stuff from before, when Rex got hit in the face and before he was a dragon. So she's just, annoyed that her outfits are being destroyed. And she just starts to, sit up from her chair. I imagine she has, these, very chic sunglasses on. She starts to, pull them off as, her hands and face start to become more draconic. And she just grows to her size, and she is going to cast the spell Weird I am going to try to melt these giants' minds. You need to give me a wisdom saving throw, or else they are going to be inflicted by their greatest fears.
Oh no, wisdom is not their best stat. Weird is such a funny spell because there are a lot of mind magics, but this is like one of the highest ones. 19 and 11, so one succeeds and one fails.
Yes. So the one that fails is going to take 10d10 psychic damage, and they are frightened.
All right. Drawing on the deepest fears of a group of creatures, you create illusory creatures in their mind visible only to them.
Yeah, so that's 63 psychic damage, and they are terrified as whatever this giant's worst fear was kind of comes to life around him and starts to attack him.
Yeah, they start, they draw their swords, which are pulsing with electricity, and start swinging at the illusions, thinking they're under attack from different angles, and they are in fact under attack. And you hear them yelling something about the Pumpkin King is here. This is an incursion from the damn Banyan Island. They have all kinds of theories about what's happening.
Really, darling, you're being rather embarrassing right now. Well, except for you. You managed to only take half damage. Good for you. And she's gonna point to the other one that just got, I guess, a little bit mind smacked.
And you are fully growing up to your diamond dragon size. So you're... Yeah, you're big.
As my character grows, she starts to turn to a diamond dragon. But there is a brief flash, momentary, as she's transforming, where you would see that her scales are not glimmering and perfect like you would assume a diamond is. If you have ever seen a cloudy diamond, that's actually what her scales look like for a brief moment, and then sort of a glimmer magic appears over top of it to make them look dazzling again. It was, it's just an illusion. If you investigate closely enough, you'll be able to tell it's not what it actually looks like, but she holds herself up for appearances.
Sounds good. Doc Hop, it's your turn.
Okay, Hop is going to transform as entering the room into steel dragon form, and is going to target the storm giant that currently has more health, and cast Dominate Monster.
Okay.
So I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw, I believe. One sec.
These people did not go to college. I don't know why everyone's going after their wisdom. A 10, that's not going to do it.
Yeah, so they are now charmed, and I have a telepathic link with them, as long as we're in the same plane of existence, which I can use to give them commands. And they will do their best to obey. The example given in the player's handbook is you can tell them to attack, and I will be doing so, but I'm going to add something a little bit to that command, which is going to be attack your friend while explaining to me whether you use those spears sort of similar to the way that other species use knives.
Okay, so you're using this murder opportunity to learn things about giant culture.
Yeah, they look kind of they look similar to the small knives that the smaller smallfolk use, and I just want to know if it's an overlap thing. Is this a long knife, or is this a different tool? Is this a different implement?
All right, so it is now Storm Giant's turn. So one of them is frightened and is going to have difficulty attacking at all, and the other one is dominated and is going to attack their friend. So this is pretty brutal. I'm going to roll 20 and 21. Those are my two attacks. And let's do some damage. 19 and 20. Okay, interesting. Let me roll one more thing here. Got a lot of numbers to work with. This is the high-level season has this downside. 15 and 7. First, the one that's afraid tries to back into the throne room and is it going to take an attack of opportunity? No, you both used magic, right?
Rex is standing right there, I guess, though.
Oh, okay. So the scared one is going to try to back up away from the weirding effects. And Rex, you do your attack of opportunity.
26.
That hits.
Bite. So that does 34 damage.
Wowzers, Bowsers. Okay, so are you turning into a red dragon to do this, or do you just take a chunk with your hand.
Well, I'm not rolling 3d12 as a human, so that's so here's exactly what happens. This fight starts, right, and DiCaprio's going to be real mad about what happens next, because Rex just explodes into fire, incinerating the outfit as he turns into his full draconic form and just latches his teeth right onto the nearest, fleeing giant and just starts shaking him like a rag doll.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's the one that's afraid. Dexterity saving throw, as he's going to try to put a lightning bolt down your throat.
Okay. I think, let me see what my dex save is real quick. I think it's just 0.
While you're doing that, Hop definitely did take the jacket off carefully before transforming, if for no other reason than, like, there's not that many nice jackets in the trash.
Yeah. When you explode out of your outfit, by the way, DiCaprio is just gonna shout at her. She's like, "That was designer, you clod!"
All right, Rex Maximus fails the dexterity saving throw and takes 15 damage as the feared storm giant rips out of your grasp and slams a lightning bolt into your face. But that's why I rolled earlier, is then the other dominated storm giant rams their spear through that guy's back, killing him as he turns to Doc Hop and says, our spears have many ceremonial uses. We use them to mark our territory, and they also represent our status in the ordning, which is our social hierarchy. There are some, and it just continues giving you what you want because you've dominated their mind.
Yeah, I'm getting a little history lesson. I now know what the importance of their spears are, and that's good to know. They care about such dainty little things.
So I guess an important note here, because we're dealing with level 20 characters. Austin did 15 damage to me. In maybe like a previous season, that'd be a scary amount. That brought me down to 270 hit points.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking a big game right now. Let's say this season's going to be 40 episodes long or so maybe hold that one a little closer to the chest. But yeah, if you were in your human form, you would have just been straight up knocked unconscious.
Yes.
You would be sleeping right now. As a red dragon, that was like a minor inconvenience. So one of the storm giant guards is dead. One is dominated. It is Rex Maximus's turn. You can see in the throne room, the advisors are starting to cast protection spells on the king. You hear outside the palace, there's someone has blown a large horn to summon backup. Stuff's popping off.
Rex points a scaly claw at the king and says, "Nice crown. It's gonna look better on me." And then he's gonna go Super Saiyan as I activate my Corona of Flames. Effectively, so as I have a number of abilities here as a big dragon, and one of them is that I just ignite myself in fire. So everything within 10 feet of me, it just automatically is going to start taking damage if they end their turn next to me.
Okay, so you're radiating fire inside this building now. A lot of it's stone, but there's also tapestries and stuff. So I think you're making a choice.
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to this dominated giant means nothing to him anymore. It's not a worthy fight. And he sees that these advisors are casting spells on the king. Doesn't give a shit. Rushes right at him to attack. And I am going to do my full attack. I'm assuming if there's an attack of opportunity, I'll take it. But he's gonna hit the king if he can.
Sure, yeah. You take 2 attack opportunity as the advisors fling some lightning at you, just their spells. 30 and 20, both of those are going to hit. So
20 misses.
Holy shit. I guess I shouldn't have assumed. That's on me. I'm going to have to get used to this, huh?
Question. Is this spell this is an arranged weapon attack, right?
Correct.
Okay. I have something for that I guess will come up later.
All right, you take 31 damage. These are the highest, magical advisors of this kingdom. So one of them hits you pretty hard as you rush the throne, but that's all they can muster in the time it takes you to cross this room on, huge red, beautiful wings of fire.
239. Okay, so he's going to attack, and I can do something called a Draconic Frenzy, which means I'm going to bite him and then start mauling him with my other natural weapons. 14, I assume, misses.
Correct.
So then I will cancel that. Go 20, and that's a botch.
Oh, interesting. All right, roll your damage for your hit, and then you also take that as the king draws his sword and starts dueling against your claws and your frenzy.
Okay, so he is going to kind of a shit one this time. 18 damage for now.
All right, so Rex and the king are locked in battle at the throne, and we're back to DiCaprio, the Diamond Dragon.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna cast Sunburst into the room. I'm going to choose to try to aim it so it doesn't hit Rex, but if the only way to hit everybody is to also hit Rex, I will.
Yeah, they're all gathered around the throne. So this is a brilliant sunlight flashes in a 60-foot radius. Each creature must make a Constitution saving throw. So that's all of us, including Rex.
Okay. I can do that. I also, as one of my abilities, have advantage on saving throws against spells.
There you go.
Just all spells? What are you, a demon? That's an ability demons get.
That was my capstone ability.
All right, fair enough.
It is 19, so the 19 will pass, but the rest of them are a fail, and they take 12d6 damage and are blinded.
I got a 28.
Okay, so DiCaprio, you blind both of the advisors with your sunburst. This is incredible. So you just did a big move. Explain how this looks.
Yeah, I think a lot of what DiCaprio does, a very signature aspect of her magic, because she is, this very important figure. She has a brand to herself, essentially. All of her shit has like a diamond kind of element to it. So even though this is like a sunburst, it's like a burst of radiant light, it looks like it's coming from a diamond when she casts it. This sort of enormous gem will appear in the sky and just sort of cast this light down on a focal point where I don't want to speak to Dan's character, but the fact that he ignores it makes me think this maybe isn't the first time DiCaprio has like centered an AoE effect on her brother before.
Yeah, probably. It's why he wears sunglasses, or one of the reasons at the very least.
I love that dynamic. All right, you blast the throne, and we are at Doc Hop.
Okay, so we've got 2 advisors left still, correct?
2 advisors left. You also have a storm giant guard who is your best friend.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and those advisors are stood within what's the range?
They're all together, all at the throne.
Yeah, okay, they're all together. I'm gonna cast Fireball because why not? That's a fun spell. 5th level Fireball, so that's gonna be a dex save. I'm gonna need to try and avoid getting hit by a lot of fire.
14, 18, and 11. I assume your spellcasting DC is also high.
What were they? Sorry, the 14, 18, and 11. Mm-hmm. They all failed the DC.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So let me roll 10d6 damage and see how they're doing.
I'm glad in this case it's a fireball, so at least I resist this damage because I got a 17.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh, sorry.
This is also a great time to point out that in some fantasy settings, dragons are just big dumb lizards, but in D&D, they are extremely powerful innate magic users and hyper intelligent. So you're not just like strong physically, you're all like super genius, super duper wizards.
Well, it's 35 damage, which is not the most in the world, but they all get hit with it, so I'll take that for what it is.
Yeah, no, you throw a fireball in and it hits everybody at the throne, king, Maximus advisors. They're all singed badly. That was a big attack. It is now the Storm Giant's turn. The guard you ensorcelled is going to run forward and try to spear. I crit. Laura, your guy is going to kill one of the advisors. This is your kill. So
fuck yeah!
Tell me about this. How does this look?
My only bit of direction for this is that, spear has gone through this other person. This is like a eyes to eyes, the amount you've rammed that spear through, you're looking like eyes to eyes. And my guy is still waffling about cultural lore as he's watching his friend slowly bleed out on his spear.
All right. The other advisor is going to lift both hands to the heavens and conjure a storm. Dexterity saving throw, everyone, as black clouds begin roiling in the a huge room you're in. Remember how large everyone is here. Literally dragons and storm giants. All the biggest guys there can be.
19.
17.
18?
Wow. Big rolls. Everyone fails, actually. So
Oh.
you are all going to take 38 damage as huge chunks of hail and acid rain begin pelting, burning, slamming into you. This is the powerful magic advisor to the king. And now the king, with his sword crackling with electricity, is going to try to plunge it into the dragon who is mauling him, which is you, Rex. We got attacks at 14, 25, and 16.
Okay, I'm going to use an ability called Horn Parry on the 25. So you have to roll again and take the lower result.
Oh, man. I only had one hit and you're going to parry it?
Yep.
You're rude. 14!
Yeah, so he tries to hit Rex, and Rex just kind of catches it on, with it on his horn, lazily, and just flicks it out of the way.
Damn, that's embarrassing. This king, is the way that Storm Giant society works. They have something called the Ordning. So the biggest, strongest guy is in charge. So when he stands up with his huge enchanted blade, he's looking quite intimidating, and you are bored.
Mm-hmm. He's also going to take 66 damage now.
6d6?
Give me a DC 19 dex save.
Oh, Lord. What is this ability?
That is Rex being on fire.
All right. Well, 8 is going to fail, I assume.
Yep, 22 damage.
Okay, so he tries to stab you with a sword and kind of just runs into an incinerator.
Mm-hmm. And that, I believe, leads into my turn now.
Sure does.
Okay, so Rex is on fire. He's going to be on fire for the next minute. Now, he is also going to start... I have an ability called Gathering Frenzy, which is basically I start doing more fire damage every time I hit you. So the way I'm fluffing this is, since I do have a breath weapon, but it's not necessarily the best option in most cases unless I'm trying to burn multiple people at once. So I think this is Rex breathing fire in between every time he swings at someone. So I'm going to attack you 3 more times with my Draconic Frenzy. Ooh, that's a botch. That's a 22, and that is a 30.
All right, 22 and 30 hit, and you roll one of those damages for yourself as a botch, because now it's claw to sword. He has lightning effects shooting in every direction. You have fire in every direction, a big elemental clash.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to roll multiple claws here. So that is 34 damage. I need to roll again, because I hit him twice, I believe. And 34 plus 38, hold on. 72 damage to him, and then I will roll damage against myself.
All right, so at the end of your turn, the Storm Giant's sword kind of bites into your body as you are mauling him viciously. At the end of the order, you hear a sound of slamming doors as reinforcements have entered the palace. But we're back to DiCaprio. There is one living advisor conjuring a deadly storm, and there is one ensorcelled guard in addition to the king.
I think DiCaprio just wants to kind of kill this guy who's making a storm. Mm-hmm. And I imagine she takes it very personally when she gets attacked. There's a glare that she gives to this advisor. And she begins to sort of cast her spell, which she does by kind of almost making these very grandiose poses. I don't know how else to say it other than JoJo poses is the incantation spells or something like that. It's a bunch of very powerful sort of fashion movements she's making as a storm of ice begins to form above this advisor. And she's like, I will show you a real storm, darling. And ice is just going to start falling on this giant who needs to make me a dexterity saving throw.
18. Damn, that's not going to do it.
That is a fail. So they are going to take... They're going to take only 25 damage. I rolled really low on that.
That's enough, though. This is the part in the show where I say lethal or non-lethal, although I don't know how you non-lethally bury someone in ice.
100%. I don't want it just like lethal. I want this person to have been crushed by a giant like shard of ice that almost looks like a diamond from far away. It's very like crystal clear, like the whatever nutrients are in it, whatever water it was made of had like a sparkling aspect to it. So it does just look like this person gets like crushed underneath a giant like piece of ice.
All right, you flatten the advisor. Now they are both dead. The other one ran through by Hop's minion, and it is Hop's turn. The only hostile person in this room is the king.
If you had to roughly estimate, how tall is this king?
30 feet tall.
Okay, that's more than 20 feet. I was hoping for 20. In that case, it's just the king.
Yep.
So, we wanted a meeting with this king, correct?
Yeah, I think Rex wanted the meeting most of all. He collects symbols of authority and leadership, like crowns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like there was like information or anything we actually need here. The meeting was, I want your shit.
Presumably, yeah. You all can have different feelings and different motivations. This is like a great opportunity for you to characterize Hop if you want. Do you think this was excessive and too much? Are you just supporting your brother? Like, you can feel however you want about it.
I think maybe on top of that, there's a question of, did Rex even ask you to come here? Because I think there's a chance he was just going to do this and the two of you found out about it.
I kind of like that. I think that this was a, well, hey, if I volunteer to come help you out, like, I can be helpful. I can be good. I'm useful.
I will even say you all know you have a meeting with your dad later. It's like that's something you're going to do after this. And I think maybe it was like, oh, Rex is like, I have to make a stop real quick. I have to go talk to somebody. And maybe you two just tagged along and he just took you right into the fucking the jaws of death.
I think DiCaprio would have guessed that Rex is probably like, oh, I gotta go do something, like something violent that's going to make him look like shit. I'm not having us all go in front of Dad looking like this. So I'm gonna make sure he looks presentable.
Okay. I think the maths Hop is doing right now is, could Rex probably take this king with like given one more turn?
If I stop fucking missing, probably.
Cause I don't want to glory steal. You know, this is Rex's whole thing, and like, you know, the crown's gonna mean more if Rex is the one to get it. So Hop may genuinely just not use this term for anything useful and be like, "Hi, sorry to have barged in. Don't mean to intrude. I did notice that like all of the doorways have this really ornate trim at the upper edge, and I know that this is probably not the time for it, but is that like, is that just a design aesthetic, or does that mean something?"
The Storm King, rumbles his response to you about, impudent dragons, you understand nothing. You only want...
Well, yes, that's why I'm asking you the question.
You only seek to increase your hoard. Your greed will be your undoing. And he slams his sword into the ground.
Blah, 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 blah. Being greedy, not telling me about your doors.
And the whole palace shakes. Everyone, Constitution saving throws as rubble starts falling down on you. You hear people running in the other the doors of the palace. Everything's closing in on you.
Okay, I rolled a 19. Is that good enough?
Yes, it is very good.
I fucking botched again.
Wow.
I rolled a 9.
This isn't a spell, right?
No, this is just an elemental. This is a lair effect that
Okay.
you're in the king's lair. So interestingly, Hop, you succeed. So you're trying to talk to this guy, and when he, lightning, acid rain, hail.
Oh, it's not the first time that Hop has asked someone a question about cultural things and that they have attempted to hit her. Like, this is not a first for her. She knows to dodge.
Yeah, I like the idea that you're just turning away all this stuff kind of casually as you're trying to get information, while Rex and DiCaprio are hit for 19 damage just from, parts of the palace, from ice, from lightning, all these things.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Do I still have foresight? Could I have dodged this?
You still have foresight, so you could, what do you have advantage for? You have advantage on ability checks and saving throws? Would either of those help? Yeah?
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a saving throw, wasn't it? Have advantage.
No, well, I did. No, it didn't work, unfortunately.
Okay, sorry. I did try.
It's with advantage though, so I will take the 12, not the botch.
All right. So that was the Storm King's turn. Was trying to hit everybody in the room with elemental effects, and we're back to Rex.
Okay. Well, first he has to make a dex save.
Oh God, the fire. Oh no, the burning. Oh God, here I go burning again. 7.
Okay, he fails. He takes 16 more damage.
Oh boy.
All right, and now for my full combo again. 28, 27, and 15.
28 and 27 hit.
63 damage.
Lethal or non-lethal?
So I think this is where it gets interesting. With Rex a little
Okay.
bit. This king slams his sword down to collapse rubble, and fucking huge boulders are hitting Rex, and he just keeps coming, right? He just keeps swinging, breathing fire, whipping his tail around into the king's midsection, and just keeps wailing on him. And once he sees that the king isn't putting up a fight anymore, the playtime is over, he just kind of loses interest and doesn't bother to confirm a kill. He doesn't see the reason in it because the king is weaker than him. And why would you waste energy killing something that can't threaten you? And he just plucks the crown off the king's head, slips it onto one of his larger horns, and goes, "All right, can we go see Dad now?"
Ask him about the trim on the top of the doors.
I think Rex picks up the king by the scruff of his incredibly fancy, gigantic cloak, and goes, "I don't think he has anything to say anymore."
DiCaprio at this point has changed back into her humanoid form, and she's kind of strutting into the room and immediately going for if there's any kind of desk. She is looking to see if there's anything of value she can take. Now that Rex is clearly dismantled this government, she's just they won't miss a couple things. I wonder if there's anything for my hoard in there. She's going through closets at this point.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because there are a dozen reinforcements entering the palace, but I like the nonchalance because all 3 of you are dragons. You have a compulsion to hoard, and it's a good time to mention you all have specific items you're going to be on the lookout for all season. Normally, you can only attune to 3 magic items. That's the limit, but dragons are exempt to this limit as long as the items you are attuning to are part of your specific hoard type. So, Rex Maximus, as we've discussed, hoards symbols of status and power and authority, like crowns. DiCaprio, what are you looking for here? What is your hoard type? Roll me investigation to see if there's anything of that type here.
Yeah, so DiCaprio's hoard type is beauty and fashion. She loves beautiful things, mostly in the form of outfits, of accessories, of things that can be used to complete an ensemble. So she's always just looking for things, something maybe with gorgeous gem inlays, something with a very unique stitching pattern, something that'll look ostentatious and very haughty. She wants to look glamorous. She's already in her mind writing this current outfit off because it's probably got scuffs from the fight and stuff like that. And she's I'm not going to visit Dad like that. So she's almost just looking to see if there's something she can turn into a new quick outfit in this moment. And she's just going to go through closets looking. Granted, this is a giant house, so everything's going to be huge, but she has ways around it. She has a personal tailor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could quick change the burning tapestries into something.
Yeah. So 14 for my investigation.
All right, with a 14, you can find something to add to your hoard, but it will not have any mechanical implications with a 14. So this is a flavor find.
Yeah, so Giant's very Nordic inspired. I'm imagining she's finding some heavy furs of creatures that maybe she doesn't get to normally run into, and she's might be able to make a scarf out of this, something like that. She's kind of trying. She at this point has just co-opted whatever room this guy had, and she's just looking in a mirror at herself as she sort of tries different looks of this on.
Okay, so as the reinforcements storm the palace, you have what you came for. You can leave at any time, and feel free to narrate. We're basically out of combat at this point. Hop, do you want to make a roll to see if there's anything for your hoard?
Yeah, I wanna do a roll as well. It's what, investigation?
It is indeed.
Well, let's see what my roll is, and then I'll talk about my horde. Okay, crit 21. So let me talk about Hop's horde, because I think this is the funniest possible person who could have gotten a crit on the horde.
It really
check.
is.
Yeah, so let's talk about Hop's horde. The Roll20 image we're using for Hop this season is Ariel from The Little Mermaid, because she was well known in that Disney animated film for collecting dingle hoppers, as you would call them, artifacts of another culture that she might not entirely understand the use of, but she knows they're important to them. Hop has a real fascination with small folk. I'm not going to say trash. It kind of is trash. It's items that have been very clearly well loved, and that people have held on to the point of almost becoming trash before getting rid of them. She is fascinated with, as dragons live a very, very, very long time on a time scale, Hop is interested in, if you've got a smaller lifespan, what are the things you hold on to? What do you have emotional investment in? What are these little objects and thingamabobs? So yeah, Hop is looking for some kind of ultimately useless trinket that's probably, someone held on to that. It might be important, a doorstop or something, but something well loved and well used.
Yeah, with a crit, you can find anything you want here. Interestingly, it wouldn't be a giant's item necessarily. It would be something that the giants have collected from other small folk. We've used that term a number of times. Small folk is the umbrella term that dragon culture uses for, traditional humanoids, like the dwarves, elves, humans that make up a normal D&D campaign. So if you find a goblet that is of dwarven make that somehow ended up in this giant's hall, that would be a dingle hopper for you. I will say with a crit, you get something of mechanical import, and you don't have to commit to it this microsecond, but it is something that this is the only way to advance your character in Season 12. You do not get anything else but this.
I need to ponder this for a minute, because I need to find something that would be, for Hop, the greatest find of small folk trash possible, but also mechanically important. And I don't know what level of petty trash to have found, and that's going to take me a minute. I wasn't ready for I need a crit's worth of petty trash.
Yeah, I will say that you can pick up something and put it in this black trash bag you have with you.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't see what you pick up, like in the adaptation, right? You just put something in the bag.
Yeah. It is going in my current magic item, which is the trash bag of holding.
I asked all of you to pick an item to kind of represent your horde, your starting item with a unique magic effect. We'll introduce those as they go. I think we might have already mentioned DiCaprio, that you have outfits on deck that's related to your item. For Hop, you have a trash bag of holding that you're going to jam all your dingle hoppers in.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, I'm gonna play with the narrative a little here. Not only do the audience not see what this is initially, Hop is a little embarrassed that this is what she has decided to take from the mission and have as her horde item, so she has squirreled it in the trash bag of holding real quick, hoping that neither of her siblings will ask what it was too quickly.
All right.
She needs a minute to, come up with why it was a good horde edition.
Before we exit this scene, Austin, I know for a fact there is one more symbol of power in this room, because you have mentioned it already.
Uh-oh.
Rex is going to rip the king's throne off the moorings and take flight and just break through the ceiling.
All right, incredible. Can I get an Arcana roll, I think, here? Because it's not about finding the throne, but it's insofar as we finding out if it has any mechanical import.
Sure. I have a -1 to this.
All right.
I hope you crit.
I got a 14.
No, 14's not going to do it. You can definitely take this throne back to your lair. And we're going to talk about layers a lot. That's one of the important things in dragon culture. In fact, we're going to have like lair arcs where you all talk about building up your layers and you're the small folk who gather around you. All three of you will have different communities of people who will either worship you or work for you. They could go out on missions and like gather items for you. There's any number of relationships you can have with your horde, lair, and small folk. Those are the kind of like the three things each dragon has. Like I have a list of NPCs, and that every one of them has those factors like labeled. It's important. But right now, can you three narrate your flight from the palace? You know, a dozen storm giants are hurling lightning bolts at you as you flee. And how does this look? How are you interacting with each other as you go back home to see your dad?
Yeah, so I imagine there's like a giant crash that's heard when Rex leaves. Like he just flies through the ceiling. And I don't know if like Hop is immediately afterwards like hiding what she just put in her bag, but DiCaprio is going to kind of stroll out of, I just assume like the master bedroom at this point. She just kind of like invited herself into the greater palace. And she's like kind of, she has the zipper that she kind of like holds in the air and unzips, and she puts this like fur scarf that she just got into it and then zips it back up. It just kind of existed in space, and she's just storing something away for later as she like starts to turn into a dragon and sort of fly off after her brother. But like she still like made sure her glasses were straightened before, and all this stuff that's gonna go away in a second. Like I imagine like she was probably drinking a coffee along the day, like while they were still in a human form during this. She probably just leaves it there. She's just like, whatever, who cares? And then just kind of flies off.
Yeah, Rex is very sort of casually fly. He's like carrying the throne with like one back foot and goes, "This would have gone quicker if you didn't make me attempt to talk to them."
Darling, I thought you wanted to, meet and greet people. You can't always just bust everyone's heads open. It's just not a great way of doing this. You're going to get yourself have bounties placed on you. They'll make you legendary for the wrong reasons.
If you'd gone in too quickly, I wouldn't have found out about the ceremonial uses of the spear.
See, we also needed that. And I got a scarf.
Rex waves off their concerns about him becoming too legendary and says, "There's nothing they can do that could threaten me."
You don't think giants have had their fair share of tiffs with dragons over the couple millennia, darling?
Those dragons weren't me.
Yeah, they probably bathed.
If you can't burn it off your body, who cares?
Those in your immediate vicinity care, don't we, Hop?
What were we talking about? Yes. with both of you.
Hop agrees, Rex, you smell.
Oh, really? And Hop doesn't smell like a garbage dump?
Hey, I smell of history.
Yeah, and history don't smell too good, do it?
Okay.
You both smell, to be very clear. Both of you stink. His is just more offensive. Yours is kind of like a sad kind of smelly, if it makes sense. I mean that as a compliment, Hop. You're doing great. I've
seen what they put into your perfumes. They're grinding up whale vomit.
I found some fascinating antique soaps the other day. They just don't have the same characteristics as they used to.
First merch opportunity of the season, shirts that say "I smell of history." Very popular at like Magic the Gathering tournaments, game conventions, things of this nature.
By the way, Rex, please don't crash into Dad's place. I have to dress you again. I won't have you showing up looking like garbage. It reflects poorly on all of us, mostly me.
I don't crash into his lair. He gets uppity when I hurt his animals by accident.
So you three are flying through the sky having this conversation, and they're still shooting at you with like longbows. Let me roll here. 22. Is that your AC, Rex?
I have 24 AC.
Fuck off!
Wow. What a fucking shot from far away though. Like, can we go back and like compliment that shot, whoever it was? Cause like, not for nothing, I assume we've made it a distance away and some fucking Hawkeye motherfucker nearly just nailed one of us out of the sky.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's like a sniper on top of a mountaintop, and he's like sizing you up like the day of the jackal.
Have they been investing in their in their bowstring tech? Okay, no, I mustn't. I'll ask them next time.
I would actually like to use an ability here, even though it did hit me, just to sell something home. Hold on, do I still have to
It's called the butt exploder. Guess what it does, Austin?
Oh, no. I replaced this because I didn't have a dex modifier. The version of this character had an ability to just reduce any ranged weapon attack that hit me by 20 damage.
Okay, so yeah, this is a arrow made from like mithril steel. It's like, you know, could destroy an entire neighborhood if fired by a giant. Like that's like how big and powerful it is, and it just binks off your fucking scales, and you're like, "Do you guys hear that?"
Yeah, I think he grabs it and for a moment kind of appreciates like the level of skill that it would take to actually fire that, but obviously he didn't get hurt, so he's not incredibly impressed. But this lowly giant deserves a moment of his attention, right? And he's going to use his breath weapon to like melt the arrow down into just like into a ball of metal slag and throw it back at the giant's general area. He's not actually trying to hit it, just making a point.
You just make a little participation star for the fridge. You're like, good try, bud.
Rex, don't try to change the subject. I'm using hair gel on you when we get down.
That's an important point. Rex will allow this to happen because one of his the features of him being a human is that he's got a big ostentatious pompadour because it was the only way he felt he could replicate the feeling of having horns.
That's wonderful. So the three of you are flying through the air. You see the world below you unfolding in all its majesty. This game world is called Arabella. That is the known world that this takes place in. You are leaving what is colloquially called the giant biome. Kind of, lore backstory is all the old gods gave their lives to create a home for the different populations. So you're leaving the giant lands and heading back home towards the Cookie Mountains, which you can see in the far distance, and we can describe the different peaks. There's probably you can see each of your lairs if you look. You're on your way to Dad's though. Is there anything you want to say or do before you get there?
I have decided what I found for my hoard. I don't know if I could tell the audience if now's a good time for that. I have added to my hoard an out-of-date pop-up book of Goblin history, which gives me advantage on deception because I can use its out-of-date facts to mislead people.
You're just gonna gaslight people with some rope-a-dope shit, and they're just like,
yeah,
fuck.
I'm gonna open up my little pop-up book of completely and utterly decades ago debunked facts about a worldview that has not been believed in a very long time, but someone created a functional pop-up book about these facts. You wouldn't do that about things that you didn't know were true for sure, right?
Also, I can't wait to go to a bank and I'm trying to steal the money, so I'm let me distract the guard by dropping some information about Atlantis on him and just be like,
no, it's look, did you know that they abolished the need to provide ID at banks? There's a whole chapter in here about it. Look, the little bank teller pops up and you can pull the tab to make him hand the money over.
Oh yeah, all these people are just gonna do the tab and their minds are going to fucking explode. They're just oh, this is so cool.
I like the lore implications of this, which is that those giants must have come across a goblin village or something and eaten all of them and just took a bunch of their junk back. So it's a pop-up book of some goblin family they devoured. That's interesting.
I imagine this is a case of like, hey, grab the stuff. Maybe there's important information. We'll sort through it later. I don't think they like consciously picked up a pop-up book. I think this was grab the library resources. Maybe there's important stuff.
Absolutely,
there.
yeah. They just scooped up a handful of goblin stuff and went home.
Yeah. You know, all of those books of like new spell technology that's being worked on. Fuck that. I want the pop-up book.
But an important thing about this season is that there's going to be, you know, Game of Thrones style intrigue between different powerful dragons, but also you're going to be spending a lot of time in your human disguise moving among the small folk, none of whom are going to be like particularly literate or like, you know, they're just not on your level. So I can absolutely see you just like tricking a kobold with some goblin facts because what is, you know, he lives in a mountain, he eats bugs.
But also it's got little pull tabs that do things. I look, as long as it vaguely lines up with what the pull tab's doing, I'm pretty sure I can spin anything out of this.
Yeah. I want to. There's probably a moment where maybe there's like a little silence as we're flying over the Cookie Mountains, and maybe it's like as we're flying over DiCaprio's kind of like mountain museum lair, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. That's just like a weird little tease I want there for everybody. That DiCaprio is going to kind of speak up and be like, "So, Hop, how's your horde coming along?"
It is doing great. The other day, I found a wedding puzzle missing conspicuously a single puzzle piece, one of the partners' faces. And look, I can't tell you whether that is because one of the partners is just incredibly unlucky in their clumsiness, or one of those two slighted the other, but there is a story in that regardless, and it's almost perfect in its imperfection.
Yes, darling, it sounds so wonderful. I'm so happy about the broken puzzle you found and are collecting.
That's a lot of words to say you picked up some trash.
I picked up some trash with cultural significance.
I think you picked up something someone got divorced.
Rex is correct. You picked up garbage, darling.
Hey, someone, somewhere out there is one missing piece of the puzzle that was someone's happiest day of their life. Like, even if this is just an accidental missed piece, they didn't replace the piece, which to me says that happiest day of their life did not last, and there is a story there.
Are you going to send your small folk to find the missing piece?
I don't know whether finding the missing piece would make it better or worse is the thing.
Darling, don't have incomplete trash in your house. If you're going to have garbage, at least have all the pieces.
Yeah, but the the part that is missing is the thing that makes it complete in being what it is.
Do you think people are going to come to see your trash hoard, darling?
I mean, look, a hoard doesn't have to be for anyone but me, and mine is full of. It's not my fault that neither of you understand the value of the cultural lessons that can be gleaned from this.
I can understand the value of small folks, and he's gonna like show kind of gesture to the crown. They occasionally produce something of interest. I can appreciate craftsmen. You're collecting garbage.
Hey, garbage that I got a doctorate for. I have learned so much about all of the small folk cultures by looking at what they care about, and sometimes what they don't care about enough to find the missing piece of.
Hop, you know that I love you, and I am only ever happy to hear that you're finding some measure of amusement in, I guess, digging through yard sales to find objects, but when we talk to Dad and he asks if we're up to anything, just make up something. You understand?
I mean, I'm sure he will. Okay, he won't care, but I did write the book on goblin tableware standards that almost, that prevented the Great Meatball War of 87, and I think there's importance to that.
Yes, lead with that. You won the Meatball Award from your tiny small folk you have an interest in. That's wonderful. Lead with that. It's kind of clear that she hasn't fully heard what you said. Like, she kind of, like, attached a couple words, and she's like, oh, you won the Great Meatball Award? Sure, great.
Yeah, sure.
Rex started to dissociate, heard the word war, got interested, and heard the word prevented, and then got uninterested again.
So you see below you the hundreds and hundreds of peaks of the Cookie Mountains, almost all of which have been claimed by different dragons. I have provided you with the basic info for all your family members, your father and your mothers, in our Discord, so you have that at hand. But throughout the season, you should probably also take notes on some of the other important dragons you meet. I will say that there are not going to be a ton of characters. Dragons are pretty rare generally, so it's not like there's going to be a million of them, but that is something to take note of. Is like you see a peak and you're like, oh, I know whose lair that is. I know what's up with that guy. I need to, maneuver, or you make enemies, make friends, do whatever you want. That is what I'm saying. Is you see below you, like, there's a fetid swamp between two mountains. You know who lives there. You see a frosty peak. You know who lives there. And then you see a kind of almost desert-like, kind of a prairie situation with a large dragon perched atop a high rock looking down over this nature preserve. Kind of like Pride Rock from Lion King style. There is an ancient dragon here, orange and black, like a Gila monster, but with enormous wings, kind of almost wrapped around his entire body. This is your father, Orlando. He is a copper and black dragon.
What kind of reputation does our dad have, if I may ask that? Because we've known this guy for a while, so I'm trying to get into character. What's dad like?
This is a fun question. I think in the session 0, we said he was a slut.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been with 3 different women, because there are 3 different mothers between our siblings.
Oh, don't get it twisted. He's been with a lot more than 3, but go on.
Sure. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, there is no tying this man down.
Yeah. I don't know to what degree, like, all of our mothers, like, had, like, in terms of, like, a faithful relationship. So I don't know if he's just, like, if this is, like, Antonio. Oh, God, who was that Jets player that had, like, 17 kids?
Yeah, no, this is a Dick Cannon situation.
Yeah.
Pipple.
I don't know if it's something like that, or if this is something where he was like, no, he did settle down a couple times. He just happened to pick bad choices each time, basically.
That was the implication I got, that he is very bad at picking the people he is with.
He's not actively trying to create a horde of ex-wives. It just sort of happened along the way.
I think someone made that joke in our pre-production. It was like, what if his horde is just like all of his lovers? Antonio Cromartie, who's the player you're trying to think of, he has 14 children.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think the relationship between yourselves and your mothers, and between all of you and your father, are going to take up a crux of the season's emotional content. So I'm also curious about this kind of stuff. Like, I think you all have different relations with your mother, and they all have different reasons for their current status with your father. So
yeah. So is he currently in his dragon form?
He's in his ancient dragon form, huge and resplendent. He is the oldest dragon living in the Cookie Mountains, which means he is essentially in charge. Although this is an important thing about the gerontocracy, is that dragons don't like being told what to do. He doesn't go around giving people orders, because that's a great way to start a dragon war. It's just they find it very offensive, traditionally, to their sense of sovereignty. So kind of the style of leadership in dragon societies is making your wishes known, and then people carry them out in such a way as they can plausibly say it was their idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I want to establish that, like, DiCaprio is going to, like, fly ahead of the others. Like, it is intentional. You see that she is, like, picking up speed because she always wants to be the first one in. And she's going to, like, fly in and, like, start to, like, transform into her humanoid form. and just be like, Daddy, it's so good to see you. You're looking wonderful today.
Yes, so your father, the physically largest and probably most powerful physically and magically of the dragons that I'm aware of in this setting, looks over at you. He was looking out over the edge of this huge rock at the nature below. His hoard, as I think we've alluded to, is endangered animals. So he's looking down, you see there's like a glen with a couple unicorns in it, like, frolicking, and he's looking at them, and then he slowly looks over to you. His body movement is very deliberate. He just it takes him like 10 full seconds to turn his head to look at you. And he says, Dee Dee, how are you? Where are your siblings? I asked for all of you to be here.
Behind in just a moment. I just wanted to get in here before, everyone else crowded up all your time, see how you're doing, just make sure, if there's anything you need to entrust to your eldest, I can make sure to handle it for you.
Oh, that's nice. What's that smell? There's something burning.
Yeah, that feels like Rex's cue. I guess he's still probably smoldering a little bit, or at least the scent of burning flesh and wood is still on him. So, as you said, he's on Pride Rock right now.
Yeah.
Rex is going to locate a nearby big rocky outcropping, and he's gonna basically throw down the throne on top of that rock and glide fall into sitting position onto it.
Yeah, I love that.
And just something I guess we should establish. We talked about this in the offline pre-production chat. Daddy Orlando, I believe, is still with Rex's mom right now.
Yes.
And has been for all of Rex's life. So. I guess to a certain extent, Rex has never been starved for his father's attention, potentially. Ergo, he's not I don't know how exactly this is. He loves his father, but he's not immensely groveling or oh, I need to impress him, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of that is also he kind of sees his dad as the marker he has to meet, because he views himself as going to be, if not already, the apex of dragons, and his father is the most powerful and oldest dragon. So he has a clear bar he has to meet.
Yeah, I think you said in the Discord something like, this has to end eventually, me fighting my dad.
Yeah. So he just kind of crashes into the smaller Pride Rock and just goes, Dad.
Hop slinks in the back, trying not to be noticed. Usually she would be very eager to get her dad's approval, but also DiCaprio did just really deal a blow to the confidence. So don't worry about me and how I'm doing. Don't ask questions about my hoard. It's fine.
I like how you specifically denied you were going to crash into Dad's place, Stan, and then you did use that exact word.
Yeah.
Orlando says, "Good show, Maximus." Delightful. Starts turning to look at you. Too much effort. Looks back to DiCaprio. His body is so large.
Don't worry, Dad. You can just speak to me and I'll relay anything you need to later. They're, busy enjoying themselves. Rex actually just got himself a very nice little trinket that he is showing off. He's very proud of it. I think you can see it. And I believe Hop just won the best meatball award in all of Smallfolk.
That's definitely it.
Hop, your voice too low to hear from rock to rock, and your dad just goes, how is Doc Hop doing? Where is she?
I'm here. Hi.
I could have sworn I heard her.
She flies around. Hi, I'm here too. Hi.
Optimus, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been learning all sorts of new fascinating little facts and things and documenting them, and it's been going well.
I feel like it's been so long since we've all hung out together. 2 years, 3 years. Oh, look. Oh, shh. The unicorns. They're sniffing each other.
That's the real silence that happens.
I do like how all of you respected that. I thought someone was going to make a little quip or a little joke, but you all just instantly shut up.
No, it's Dad's horny. Shut up.
Yeah, I want to be clear that DiCaprio has like a lot of earnest respect for her father because he is the most powerful dragon in our area. Like, he is the dude. And I am sure that she has gotten some measure of her own success by being related to him to some degree. So she is very much a daddy's girl who wants to like use this, to her advantage as much as possible. Like, there is genuine affection for her dad, but if he's like, hey, check out this dope ass sloth, she's gonna pay attention to it because like you don't ever want to like not do something for this guy.
I think for Hop, the respecting of the Horde is basically in like, yes, you too enjoy trying to understand these small, unknowable creatures. You watch them from a distance. I collect the things they do. I get it.
I think Rex has a weird level of respect for the Horde, but actually finds it deeply uncomfortable. Because like the unicorns, right? Incredibly powerful magical creatures. And there's something in his brain that he can't it never like really touches fully for him, but he doesn't like the idea of something that's incredibly powerful being reduced to like almost on the verge of extinction, right? Because he looks at it and goes, well, this is the most powerful of its species, obviously, because it's still alive, but the entire species is almost dead. Because if he thinks for too long, he's going to start thinking about what if that happened to dragons. I don't want to be alone. If I don't have other cool dragons to compare myself to, what do I do?
I'm glad you brought that up. An important lore element is that technically the setting is post-apocalyptic. There was the old world that like Dungeons and Dragons takes place in that was destroyed, and dragons were like on the verge of extinction. They were being hunted. There was all these great heroes slaying dragons, taking their hordes. The world ending and being reborn in Arabella is kind of a second chance for dragons to like reestablish their whole thing. So that's not a unwarranted thought to have. I also say that unicorns are sapient. They have like language and stuff, but to Orlando they are animals. You can take that how you want. I am currently finding this character in my mind. I don't even know all the implications of that, but he's looking down at them from his rock, and he says, Maximus, did you pick up a present for your mother while you were away?
What can I roll to determine if I found a cursed object somewhere?
Your mother, Rosalind, is also a red dragon like you, and she collects cursed objects. I think you could maybe history to know if any of the things you got recently seem cursed.
Oh, so this is a fun thing to note. So Rex has -1 intelligence, but as we discussed, that's like he's dumb for a dragon. He's smart for other species, right? Yep. I did specifically take proficiency in history because I wanted to illustrate the fact that there are things about history he cares about, like royal lines, like interesting battles, stuff like that. The history of dragons, because dragons ergo are the most powerful thing, so he should care about it. So I do actually have a +5 to this.
Oh,
so let's see what this does.
That's fun.
18.
Yeah, I think it didn't have to be. You tell me. With 18, yes, you could have found a cursed item for your mother recently, because as we're going to talk about, there's going to be a dragon get-together, and it would be nice if you brought something.
Mm-hmm. I think he reaches in between some of his many crowns and just pulls out a shrunken, desiccated head that's just open mouth screaming at the top of its lungs.
Holy shit!
And he kind of jingles it a little bit before he just slips it back in between the rest of his bling.
Oh, delightful, Maximus! She'll love that. What a joyous occasion this is going to be.
Is Des going to be there?
A visible, he lets out a sigh, which because of his size, knocks over some trees in the distance, and he says,
"Yeah, like a unicorn just gets blown away."
Yeah, it goes ass over tea kettle into a lake. He says, DiCaprio, you're still fighting with your mother.
I'm not fighting with her. I'm done with her, Dad. I don't want to see her again. Daddy, sorry.
He seems visibly annoyed, but he says, I can make some excuses, and she won't be attending the bicentennial if that would make you comfortable, but you know how much I hate when family fights.
Father, you don't have to worry about me. I just need to know how glamorous I needed to look. I want to make her feel as old as humanly possible. Dragonly possible.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out some adjective situations here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so upcoming is going to be the Cookie Mountain Bicentennial, the celebration of, 200 years of dragons living here. And is your mother going to be there? I was totally open because you've written on your sheet that you stole from her, so she might be mad at you.
Yeah, I think there's absolutely bad blood between us, but she's assuming that she's like, no, it's fine because you were shitty to me. You were a bad mother to me, so like you shouldn't be upset that I took something from you because it was my way to get independent of you. And they just don't talk now. I don't know if she holds like a deep grudge, but I think for DiCaprio, she's just like, if I have to see my shithead mom, I want her to look as old and as lame as possible, and for me to look as glamorous and amazing as possible. Like I don't really know what else I'd want to make her feel pathetic in my glamour.
Mm-hmm. Without looking to you, Doc Hop, your father says, "Optimus, what do you think? Should I invite Desdemona?"
Hop will look to DiCaprio and go, yes.
Well, you're a doctor, so I defer to you.
There is a slight eyebrow raise for how quickly she said that.
No, there was at least a little pregnant pause before Hop said yes. Look, we're playing siblings, and you did disrespect my diffusing of the meatball war. Yeah, you got to see your mum now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hop is being petty.
I imagine like DiCaprio has already like fixed herself a drink that she's enjoying and kind of just giving you a stare as she hears your answer. And like, if you were like super close, you could probably say there's a slight disturbance in the way she drank in that moment.
Yeah,
like there was a visible sign of annoyance, but it's not like
the look is next time pay attention to what to the thing to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can I get Constitution saving throws from the siblings?
Constitution.
8.
Crit.
Botch.
Wow.
Can I save myself from that botch? 1 second. No, it wouldn't save me from a botch. I can add a D10 to a failed ability check or saving throw, even after I've seen that it's failed. But adding a D10 isn't going to change the fact that I rolled a 1, is it?
No, you botched, but it's a fun botch, which is your stomach growls very loudly and slightly embarrassingly. None of you ate any of the giants, which is, you're extremely large, active beasts, so you need to think about your calorie counts. And your dad worries about you, Hop, and says, "I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves," and he almost kind of walks off the edge of the cliff before his wings catch him, and he flies down to literally pick up an elephant that is down there in the nature preserve.
Hop, you should help him make your famous meatball recipe.
He's got spares of the elephants, right? This isn't like the last ones he's got in. He's got more in the bag.
Oh, you know what it is? It's not even elephants. It'd be like woolly mammoths. They're the endangered ones.
Wait a minute. Wait, does Dad just run an exotic meat butchery?
Here's the thing. I picked Gila Monster just because I think they're very cool looking, and I'll probably sprinkle in Gila Monster facts throughout the season because they're fascinating. But a thing I also picked was that he's half black dragon and half copper dragon. Both of those dragons, canonically, their breath weapon is acid. So he has like acid squared. I think you've seen him eat before. He'll pick up like a woolly mammoth, and just like as he goes to eat it, one bite, it'll like almost fucking skeletonize. That's like the kind of acid he's working with. Like he is a very slow, chill guy, but he's actually pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. I think there's a moment as he starts to fly away that DiCaprio is going to look to the others and be like, do you think Dad's flying a little bit slow recently?
I hope not. I want it to be a fair fight.
I just worry about him, you know?
I mean, he's doing good. He's got so many the little things down there. He's got so many little buddies.
Does our dad have small folk that he rules over?
He considers the animals small folk, which is unusual. I will say that if you look at like any of the other family members in the Discord or something, you'll see they all have pretty traditional small folk: goblins, humans, dwarves, elves, things of this nature. He just has his animals, which is considered eccentric. If he wasn't so powerful, maybe people would say stuff about it, but...
Yeah, I think DiCaprio does say something like, I mean, at least he should get himself some, like, real small folk so they can do the, unimportant things like this. He shouldn't be the one preparing dinner.
Well, he's got the unicorns, right? They can talk.
But they don't have hands, dear. They need hands. Yes, we do have hands.
We do sometimes.
we have claws and teeth.
You just don't wash under your nails, dear. That's different.
Yeah, just to. I'm sure that the unicorns have they could probably use the horns like the ice giant spears earlier. Maybe that's a thing.
I'm just saying we should probably pay somebody to help, make sure everything in Dad's kingdom is being upkept, Have you seen the roof on his place recently? I don't think he's had anyone up there. There aren't enough almost extinct birds for him.
What does he need small folk for? He's the most powerful dragon around. There's nothing he can't do.
Yes, the point is he shouldn't have to, darling. He's the strongest. There's a hierarchy to these things for a reason.
Yeah, but I get it sometimes. Sometimes you wanna be in the midst of the stuff, right? Have you never been, the small folk are doing the clothing things for you, and then you're like, well, what if I did a stitch or two? Have you never, no?
No, I'm too busy making sure all the small folk will never worry for money or food for the rest of their lives. I don't really sit down and do the stuff that they're there for.
You need to spend more time out hunting for yourself, I think. You're losing your edge.
Don and I have a great many edges. I'm not losing any of them. Also, get over here so I can fix your hair.
Rex, I think Rex is just gonna do a very younger sibling thing and just fucking stick his tongue out at her.
With that, Orlando returns. He's actually carrying the woolly mammoth in his mouth, like by one leg, which rips off because of how heavy it is, and he has to catch it in his claws, so somewhat awkwardly as he flies back, and then he puts it down for a hop to eat because your tummy was rumbling. He's thoughtful.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And Hop will tuck in and hope that did not. She's not sure about the social rules, but she's like, you brought it, I'm eating it, I'm not going to be rude.
Dad, would you like, I can pay for that. How much does one woolly mammoth cost? Are they like 10 gold or something?
Economies. That's so funny. Trading metal when you can just pluck things from the earth.
Well, I will see to it that we find some kind of exotic animal to replace what you had to sacrifice here. Wouldn't want you to feel like your hoard has shrunk any less because of us.
Well, DiCaprio, I assume you're not going to get your mother a present. Maybe get something for Sycorax.
I suppose. I am fantastic at gift giving. What does your mother like, Hop? Some kind of... she's really struggling. Like, you can tell she is trying to think anything about your mom right now.
She likes small folk emotions, but not in the way I do, where it's like I have the object that has the emotion. She likes the emotion from the source.
Yes, Sycorax is so difficult to shop for.
Well, what emotion is she in the mood for? I could probably ask a contingent of my small folk to attend a ceremony. Like, is she interested in fear? I could scream that I'm going to devour them all and watch them run in terror.
I could happily assist.
Fear is easily come by. Like, she tends to like the more nuanced and complicated ones. Like, you know, surprise with a little bit of doubt. Like, that's a hard combination to do.
Oh, what if I tell them I'm buying them all a new home? So they all are excited because they have something new to go to, but uncertainty because what was once theirs is now gone, and the decision not made for them.
I think that would probably go over pretty well.
Excellent. I will put that on my schedule then. Does that sound good to you, Father? Was that appropriate for a gift?
Yes, dutiful children, I'm so proud of you. I do have some last preparations to make before the bicentennial celebration, so I'm going to be busy, but I was hoping I could ask you to do me a favor while I'm so engaged.
Of course, Daddy, anything.
Well, it's kind of embarrassing. I appear to have misplaced something, and I don't know exactly where it got to.
Oh, the woolly mammoth? You gave it to Hop.
Yeah, I mean, Hop is covered in gore on her snout right now.
She pulls a giant napkin out of the trash bag of holding.
No, I'm afraid it's much smaller, which is probably how it got away from me. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. Did I ever show you my carbuncle?
I do not believe so, Father. Can I know what a carbuncle is before you mention this?
Isn't that an infected pustule?
Nature check to know about carbuncles.
Okay.
And as Dan alluded to, don't Google image search that without maybe writing creature or animal next to it, or you will get dermatological data.
Oh, God.
Dad's
22.
always talking about his skin condition. 16.
3.
22 and 16, the group passes, but DiCaprio specifically, maybe you were just paying closer attention to your dad.
Hop's busy eating.
Carbuncles are a kind of mythological creature, or in this universe, a very rare and endangered creature. They're very small. They kind of look like armadillos, but they have big red gems embedded in their body. And this is kind of an important aspect, which is that the gems are very powerful magic items, but the animals instinctually do not want you to take the gem. And so if you startle or threaten a carbuncle, it will literally die and the gem will dissolve.
I was trying to work out why I knew what a carbuncle was, and then I realized it was a stupid Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I think it's also in Final Fantasy, famously.
Yeah.
Isn't it also in Pokemon?
There's Carbink.
Is that not?
No, I think that's a barnacle.
Is it-
That's a barnacle Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
But yes, your father says, I've misplaced my carbuncle, and I don't remember where. It's a very important part of my collection, but I can't send just anybody bumbling after it. If you frighten it in any way, it will be lost forever.
So we need to approach it with calmness and assurance that we'll just return it home, or is there some other specialized method we should be using for capturing it?
Well, you undoubtedly will have to assume a smaller form. Your natural bodies will terrify it most abjectly. But even then...
Yes, especially Rex's.
Yes.
because of the smell.
But even then, yes, I believe stealth and care are needed. And time is of the essence. I do want to display it at the bicentennial. I just can't remember where I left it. I'm sure it's in the lair of one of your mothers, but for the life of me, I don't remember which.
Which one did you last see, Father?
Oh, well, I came here from Rosalind's, of course. We were discussing the preparations and the celebrations tonight. She has quite a banquet prepared, of course, but I've also, I visited Sycorax last week, and Desdemona the month before. He could be at any of them.
If it's with Mom, it's probably dead by now. Do you want me to collect the ashes?
You're with great deliberate movement. Your father turns around to look at you in a disapproving way, and he says, "The carbuncle is most precious to me, and I will have it returned in pristine condition."
Of course you will, Father. We guarantee it. Like DiCaprio immediately moves in to make up for Rex's mistake. She's like, you know what? He's just being a kidder, Father. Don't worry about that.
Rex sort of shrugs and goes, "If I wasn't as amazing as I am, I wouldn't have survived her horde for too long."
Sneaking up on this thing, I think it'll be fine. And Hop is going to, in humanoid form, step into a bit of shade under Dad's wing and turn invisible.
Whoa! How do you turn invisible?
I've got a thing called One with the Shadows. If I'm in an area of dim light or darkness, I think a shadow is dim light, probably.
Oh yeah.
I can use an action to become invisible until I move or take an action.
Ah, delightful Optimus. And he smiles at you. I think drawing a deliberate contrast between the disapproving glare at Rex.
Yay!
But he says,
"Okay, end game of the season now is to be Dad's favorite. That is the end game of the season."
Yeah, I'm also curious about all these relations. Like everything's up for grabs. I'm not coming in with any preconceived notions.
Dad, I promise you will return the carbuncle post haste. If you don't have any impression of where it was that you left it, we'll just retrace your steps. We'll start with Rosalind. She seems like the easiest, no bad blood there, nothing happened in that relationship. It's just real side eye, you're still with that one.
Yeah, he says, "Thank you, DiCaprio, and I'll see you at the bicentennial afterward."
Oh, darling, with sparkles on, looking as majestic as possible. Make sure you have a paramedic on hand in case Dez's poor heart goes out after seeing me look so lavish.
He shakes his head very slowly. It's just he's not with your mother anymore, so obviously he has his own problems with her. But
yeah, he's trying to be the responsible adult who's just yeah, it didn't work out between us, but let bad shit rest. And DiCaprio's just no, she sucks. I hate her. Fuck her.
Absolutely.
Rex is gonna say, Father, I believe the royal line of the Storm Giants is going to be ending soon. If you want to stop by, you could probably collect a few of them.
Maximus, why do we need more border skirmishes between the giants and the dragons? How does this benefit me?
It's not like they could do anything of value.
We will discuss this after the bicentennial. I'm far too busy to think about politics.
I will say, Rex is fully intending to, help look for the carbuncle. I think he just honestly believes that if it spent too long around his mom, it's probably dead.
Sure. But yeah, that's going to be the first official arc of Season 12. I'm calling it the Carbuncle arc, as you three need to go to your mother's lairs and look around to see if you can find this extremely fragile, endangered animal and bring it to the big celebration where you're gonna see your mothers, and we'll talk about how that works out. I'm excited. There's already, juicy drama brewing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In DiCaprio's mind, she's also like, please don't let it be at my mom's place. Like, she is deliberately going to make that the last place we look.
It's
like,
gonna
she's
be
going
at
to
your
push.
mom's place.
I know.
Unfortunately, by making it the last place you look, it's gonna.
I know, but she is doing everything in her power to say it cannot be there.
You know what's really funny? That Hop was eating a woolly mammoth, and we keep talking about meatballs because they recently regrew some woolly mammoth meat.
Oh yeah,
in like a cloning lab. And let me get a picture of it. Clone mammoth meatball. Doesn't this just look truly appetizing?
Oh, that looks pretty
They
good.
put little berries next to it to make it. You plated it up. I do want to eat the old meatball.
imagine Fred Flintstone going fucking berserk on that thing.
Also, now that you keep mentioning Hop having won the Meatball Award, she does now want to find out whether any small folk cultures have a Meatball Award, and if so, can she enter a meatball competition and win? for the cultural anthropology of it all.
It'll be great if you actually win it and then DiCaprio mishears it and is like, oh good, she stopped the meatball wars this time. That's fantastic.
Do you think Dad gets like a newsletter about animal conservation, and he checks it in every once in a while, and when he sees like one of the things in his preserve is no longer considered endangered, it's just on the menu for the day then?
He just trebuchets them out of the preserve. He's like, not endangered anymore, bye.
You're all good now. You're safe.
Well, no, that just means, like, if he goes and, like, for the next little while, go find some of them to eat, get them back on the list.
I really do love the idea that there's like a secret dark side to our dad's nature conservation of endangered animals, where it's like sometimes he's putting things on the list. He's like, poison dart frog should be a little more endangered, just so he can put him on his list in his preserve.